5 cases, 5 terrifying stories, and 5 moments where ordinary lives turned into unforgettable nightmares. From mothers framing their own children to killers hiding behind lies, each case becomes darker than the one before it, and the final story may be the most disturbing of them all. On April 7th, 2022, Tyler N. Derekowski called D. Ritter Police with a chilling message. He said he had shot his girlfriend, Ashley Fish, inside her home on Northridge Drive. He told dispatcher Gladys Santiago that Ashley was not breathing when he left her in the bathroom. He had locked the door, removed the magazine from the gun, and driven away. Instead of asking for an ambulance, he said he wanted to surrender. He waited in the Burke's Outlet parking lot and described his clothes so officers could find him. While police moved toward the house, Ashley's 4 young daughters were still nearby. Her oldest daughter met Officer Joshua Sanford and told him that her mother was inside the bedroom. The children had been frightened, and food was still cooking in the house. The oldest girl helped move her younger sisters toward safety as officers entered the home. Behind the locked bathroom door, they found Ashley lying on her left side. Her phone was still held in her right hand, while blood surrounded her head. A small gun and its magazine rested on the bathroom counter.
You all right, babe?
The door was locked in the room. Yeah. And...
Okay, can you sit right here for me?
Officer Cameron Smith found Tyler beside his packed truck at Burke's Outlet and read him his rights. Tyler said he and Ashley had argued before the shooting. He claimed he planned to tell Ashley's former husband that she had broken their child custody rules. He also told Ashley that he wanted to return to his former wife and leave Louisiana. Tyler said Ashley then pulled a gun, and the weapon fired while they fought over it. Yet one detail made his story difficult to believe. Tyler admitted he did not leave when he first saw the gun because he did not feel scared enough to run. Police later added 4 child abandonment charges because the girls remained behind. Detective Douglas Cooley searched the bedroom and bathroom, but he found no signs of a violent fight. Tyler had no cuts, bruises, or defensive injuries. Ashley had been shot behind her right ear. During the autopsy, Dr. Christopher Tape found a star-shaped mark around the wound. That mark showed that the gun had been pressed against Ashley's skin when it fired. Ashley was right-handed, and her phone was found in that hand, making Tyler's claim about her holding the gun even harder to accept. In March 2024, Tyler faced a jury for Ashley's killing. Prosecutors used his 911 call, the locked bathroom, the packed truck, the missing struggle marks, and the contact gunshot wound to show that the shooting was not an accident. The jury found him guilty of second-degree murder in a unanimous decision. The court then gave Tyler the required sentence: life in prison at hard labor, with no parole, probation, or suspended sentence. Ashley's 4 daughters were left without their mother, while the man who admitted shooting her was taken away for life. On December 6, 2023, students and teachers were moving through the University of Nevada, Las Vegas, like any normal day. At about 11:30 a.m., 67-year-old Anthony James Polito arrived on campus carrying a legally bought 9mm handgun and 11 loaded magazines. Polito had once worked as a business professor, but after losing teaching jobs and being rejected by schools in Nevada, he had become angry and bitter. Around 11:45 a.m., police received the first call about gunfire inside Frank and Estella Beam Hall, the main building for the Lee Business School. Officers entered the hall about 1 minute later. Polito had started shooting on the 4th floor and then moved down through other floors. At first, some people thought the alarm was only a drill. Then someone shouted that a gunman was inside, and students began running for exits, hiding in rooms, and calling loved ones. Polito killed 3 professors during the attack. Patricia Navarro Velez, 39, taught accounting. Cha John, Jerry Chang, 64, taught management information systems. Naoko Takamaru, 69, taught Japanese studies. A 4th professor, Bot Rith, 38, was badly wounded and taken to a hospital in critical condition. Panic spread across campus as police warned people to leave Beam Hall and move away from the student union. At about 11:55 a.m., Polito walked out of the building. Police officers confronted him near the student union, and a gunfight began. 2 officers received minor wounds. Polito was struck 6 times and died at the scene. The entire attack had lasted only minutes, but 3 teachers were dead. Another was fighting for life, and thousands of people were hiding across the campus. Investigators learned that Polito had applied for a job at UNLV about 1 year earlier, but was not hired. He had also applied to other Nevada schools without success. Police found that he kept a list of people he blamed and wanted to punish, mostly former coworkers from East Carolina University. None of the people killed at UNLV were on that list. Former students also said Polito became angry over poor online reviews and sometimes claimed he knew which students had written them. A search of Polito's apartment uncovered ammunition, computers, hard drive parts, and an eviction notice. Investigators also discovered that he mailed about 24 letters to university workers across the country shortly before the attack. Some envelopes contained harmless white powder. Police never found proof that the 3 murdered professors had personally harmed him. A reunification center opened at the Las Vegas Convention Center, where frightened families waited for news. Roads closed, nearby campuses shut down, flights paused briefly, and emergency teams searched every building before declaring the university safe. Because Polito died during the shootout, he was never arrested, tried, or sentenced. The case ended at the scene, while UNLV closed classes, canceled finals, and began mourning the teachers who were killed. On July 27, 2022, Kayla Hamilton's boyfriend returned to their mobile home in Aberdeen, Maryland, and found a scene that changed his life forever. Kayla was only 20 years old and had autism. She had been attacked inside the home, raped, tied up, and strangled with a phone cord. Her killer had taken her phone and left before anyone arrived. Her family described Kayla as a bright young woman with plans for her future. She trusted people easily, needed extra support because of her autism, and deserved to feel safe inside her own home. The most painful clue came from Kayla herself. When the attacker first appeared, she tried calling her boyfriend. He did not answer, so the call went to voicemail. The phone kept recording as the attack happened. Prosecutors later played the recording in court, where a voice believed to be the killer could be heard speaking to Kayla and apologizing after she had already been killed. Kayla's boyfriend had unknowingly seen the suspect leaving the area before he entered the home. Investigators also learned that the young man had rented another room inside the same mobile home only 5 days before the murder. Detectives collected DNA from Kayla's clothing and connected it to Walter Javier Martinez, a 17-year-old from El Salvador. Kayla's missing phone also helped police because it sent a location signal near the place where Martinez was last known to be. These clues, along with the voicemail and witness information, gave investigators a clear picture of who had entered Kayla's room. Police learned that Martinez was connected to MS-13 and had a violent past. Investigators said he had been smuggled into the United States in March 2022, about 4 months before Kayla was killed. Federal officials later faced serious questions because Martinez had entered government custody as an unaccompanied minor and was released to a sponsor before every background check was finished. While Martinez was in jail, he wrote a letter to a pastor in El Salvador. In that letter, he admitted involvement in 4 murders, 2 rapes, and other violent crimes. Prosecutors could not fully confirm every crime mentioned, but they believed some of the killings may have happened in El Salvador before he came to the United States. For more than 2 years, Kayla's family waited for the case to end. Because Martinez was 17 when he murdered her, Maryland law did not allow prosecutors to seek life in prison without parole. Martinez finally pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. The court sentenced him to 70 years in prison, followed by 5 years of supervised probation. Prosecutors said no sentence could return Kayla to her family or remove the pain caused by the attack. Kayla's murder later inspired the Kayla Hamilton Act. The bill requires stronger checks for unaccompanied minors and the adults who may sponsor them. It calls for criminal history reviews, gang screening, fingerprint checks, safer housing decisions, and information sharing between federal agencies. It also blocks placement with sponsors living in the country illegally. The House passed the bill as lawmakers argued that the failures surrounding Martinez's release should never be repeated. Craig Thetford was last seen on New Year's Day in 2025 after spending time with friends in Cloudcroft, New Mexico. Only 3 days later, his friends began to worry. Deanna Thetford, his wife, called one friend and said Craig was very sick. She sounded upset, but when the friend offered to come and help, Deanna refused. That answer felt wrong because Craig was known for calling the people he loved and never disappearing without a word. As January passed, Dina gave different stories about where Craig had gone. She told some people he was in Texas. She told others he was working with a hotshot crew, training firefighters in Albuquerque, caring for his mother, or fishing in Mexico with another woman. Every new story made the old one look false. Craig's mother was certain he had not walked away because he always stayed in touch. By February, Dina had also bought a house in Seymour, Texas, using cash. On May 12, 2025, Craig's family asked police to check the couple's home because nobody had spoken with him for 5 months. Dina told officers that she and Craig were divorcing and that he had left for Mexico with a girlfriend. She showed deputies 2 large gun safes and claimed they held more than $1 million, but she said she did not know the combinations. Investigators soon learned Craig had never crossed into Mexico. A witness also said Craig had told them Dina knew how to open the safes. The case changed when several people told investigators that Dina had admitted what happened. One witness said Dina clearly stated that she shot Craig. Dina's daughter gave police an even darker account. She said her mother confessed that Craig pushed her down the stairs, and Dina became filled with rage. Dina then shot him several times inside the house. She struggled to move his body, left him there for days, wrapped him in a rug and plastic, and used a tractor to move him into the carport. On June 17th, investigators searched the property and found Craig's body hidden in the carport. He was wrapped in plastic, blankets, rugs, and covered with white powder, mothballs, cardboard, carpet, and other items. Beside the carport was a fresh hole around 6 to 7 feet long and 2 to 3 feet deep. The medical examiner found that Craig had suffered at least 3 gunshot wounds and ruled his death a homicide. The search finally ended, but Craig's family had spent months demanding truthful answers. Investigators also learned that Dina had sent false texts and Facebook messages while pretending to be Craig. She forged his signature and continued lying about where he was. Deanna later pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and forgery. Judge Stephen Ochoa sentenced her to 18 years in prison, followed by 3 years of probation. On March 4, 2022, Albuquerque police rushed to an alley behind Lindy's Diner after someone reported a shooting. Officers found 16-year-old Josué J. Ruiz lying on the ground with a gunshot wound to his head. He worked at a nearby restaurant, and his employer arrived hoping the boy was still alive. An officer explained that Jay was dead. The scene gave police few answers, but a camera in the alley showed a gold Toyota Camry, leaving moments after the gunfire. Detectives learned that Jay had been dating a pregnant 17-year-old girl named Elizabeth. Their relationship had been troubled, and her brothers were angry because they believed Jay had mistreated her. That morning, Jay and her 16-year-old brother, Angelo Baldonado, were expected to meet and fight. Elizabeth described it as a planned boxing match between 2 teenagers who did not get along. Messages later showed that another brother, Gilbert Chavez, had written that Jay was going to catch one 2 days before the killing. Police spoke with the teenager's mother, Elizabeth Ortiz Chavez. Investigators asked about her gold Toyota because witnesses and security video placed a similar car near the murder scene. Ortiz Chavez claimed her vehicle had broken down and said she left it beside a road before walking home. Officers searched the area, checked towing records, and found no sign of it. Her story also changed as detectives asked when she had driven Angelo to a job interview and when she had gone to a laundromat. Angelo gave the police a different account. He said he drove himself to the interview in his mother's car and returned it afterward. His words challenged her claim that she had driven him. Ortiz Chavez denied shooting Jay and acted as though somebody had stolen her vehicle, but detectives believed she knew exactly where it had gone. Police searched phones belonging to the family and found messages about the planned fight. They also found requests to delete messages on the day Jay died. Jay's girlfriend defended her mother and brothers, insisting none would hurt him because they knew how she cared for him. Yet investigators could see that the family's timelines did not match. Nearly 2 months later, detectives questioned Gilbert about his threat. He admitted sending the message, but claimed he never arranged an attack. Ortiz Chavez also admitted telling her sons about the proposed fight, although she denied setting it up. Prosecutors later said she tried to place the blame on Angelo because she believed a 16-year-old would receive a lighter punishment. Police arrested Angelo and charged him with first-degree murder. Inside the interview room, the teenager repeatedly asked for his mother, but officers could not find her. From jail, Angelo told relatives that he had not killed Jay. During recorded family calls, Ortiz Chavez appeared to admit responsibility without explaining what she had done. The biggest break came from a Facebook conversation involving Gilbert. A woman asked whether his mother had committed the killing and allowed Angelo to take the blame. Gilbert answered, "Yep." Angelo later told detectives that his mother had arranged the fight, pulled the trigger, and tried to make him accept responsibility. Angelo pleaded guilty to conspiracy to commit murder and felony assault. He was ordered to remain in a youth detention center until he turned 21. The murder charge against him no longer matched what witnesses, messages, surveillance footage, and family conversations showed. Investigators arrested Ortiz Chavez about 1 year after her son had first been accused. Prosecutors said she planned the confrontation, shot Jay, used her car to escape, lied about the vehicle, and pushed suspicion toward her own child. In January, she pleaded guilty to second-degree murder. During sentencing, Jay's relatives described him as funny, loving, hardworking, and full of plans for his future. They said he loved making people laugh and cared deeply about his family. The court sentenced Elizabeth Ortiz Chavez to 18 years in prison for killing 16-year-old Josue Ruiz and trying to make her son carry the blame. These 5 cases show how quickly trust, anger, and hidden danger can destroy innocent lives. Behind every headline was a real person, a grieving family, and a truth that investigators had to uncover piece by piece. Which case disturbed you the most, and why? Share your answer in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more true crime stories.